Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the This is Africa podcast, and we've got a very, very special guest with us today. He hunts the length and breadth of Africa. So the jungles, the savannas of Cameroon, Zimbabwe, big game hunter. He's a very good friend of mine. His name is Peter Wood. Welcome, Peter.
Andy, thank you.
This is Africa podcast is brought to you by Swift Bullet Company. Bullets without equal.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate it, and I just wanted to congratulate you on how well you're doing, bud. TIA is just taking off like a rocket, and all your hard work is paying off. So well done on that.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, no, TIA has done well, and I think one of the things about that is I'm an African and I film Africans and we make a show about Africa. Yeah. So we're a little bit ahead of the others because we know a little bit more about Africa than, say, some of the other shows that are made by foreigners.
For sure. Understanding the cultures, which you always show so much on your shows, is the it's not just the hunting, it's the cultures, the different people, how they behave, and the different locals. No, it really shows in your skills.
Well, thank you, buddy. Yeah. You know what? A lot of the success comes down to those hunters, the characters. So guys like yourself. I mean, you've been on how many episodes of TIA? Definitely a fan favorite, old Woodstar.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a hell of an adventure. It's been a lot of fun.
What have you been up to this year? I haven't seen you much.
But it's been. We've had a great time, eh? We've been in Cameroon in the savannah. Did a pile of eland hunts. One of my favorites, Bonan. I consider him the king of plains game. And when you want to chase the king, you bring your A game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You've done it. It's not easy. It's hard work. It's a lot of patience and just sticking it out. So we had a fantastic year this year. We really had a successful season up there. And then snuck home for a quick week.
Did you go from the savannah straight home?
Yeah, well, I managed to...
What of Bongo season? You normally get the Bongo season as well.
Yeah, I actually went straight on to my first two Bongo hunts.
From the savannah?
Yeah, so it was a long stretch.
Okay, so you went from savannah hunting eland to now the Bongo.
Yeah.
And what did you hunt there?
So we did 4 Bongo hunts there. Bongo, buffalo, Sitatunga, and the dikers, of course. That was fun and games trying to get people to see them. But it's been really, really good. Both areas are looking really great. The forest this year actually had a drought. Can you believe it, man?
Oh, really?
Can you believe the rainforest had a drought? I think in 2 months it rained like 3 times maybe.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was hard.
Oh, wow.
But we talk about those pygmy trackers and how good they are.
Why does the drought make it harder to hunt Bongo than if it's raining?
The ground gets so hard.
Oh, the ground is hard.
The ground gets hard. It's like concrete. And you rely on picking up tracks on the road or at a salt lick.
Oh, and if it's rained, obviously they're nice and deep and easy to find.
Nice, and you can see it. And so now, we're literally stumbling around. And I'm sure we're driving over tracks, but the poor guys can't see them. And those baka, or everyone knows them as pygmies, they're some of the best of the best. And if they can't see the track, nobody will. We struggled. But we came right, perseverance.
Oh, really?
Patience.
All your clients were successful?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, it was a really good season. The forest is a special place. I love it.
And from the forest?
From the forest, I'm home now. Yeah, I just got back last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you only just got back?
Only just got back Yeah, last Friday, Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So your wife was happy to see you, I'm
yeah.
sure.
So I'm taking a bit of a break. You know.
Well done. Well done, because
Yeah.
I know last year, and normally Pete goes from hunting the savannah to the forest, and then come back to Zim and go straight into hunting lion and elephant and whatever you hunt here.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your wife is
very
appreciative.
No,
this
she's
year.
very happy. It was it's tough, and all PHs.
Yeah.
All PHs. It's one of the sacrifices, even yourself, that we take is while we got the best job in the world, it's hard on the family.
So you basically hunt the whole year.
Pretty much, yeah. It's it's hectic. It's busy, but when it's your passion, you don't mind. Being home is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Love it. Love to be with the missus and catch up with mates and that kind of stuff. But my heart is out there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's a bit of a bummer because we don't see you at the hunting conventions every year.
No.
Yeah. It's really sad because I think, a lot of people have gotten to know Pete from This Is Africa, the TV show, and I think they'd like to meet you, but just in the forest. So if you want to see Pete, book a hunt with Pete.
Yeah,
but you know what's super cool is you just got your Instagram up and running, finally.
Can you believe it?
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Almost the time for retirement.
Yeah, I know. Yes, it's wild.
So what is it again? It's a Woodley Zim or?
Yeah, it's Woodley_Zimbabwe.
Woodley_Zimbabwe. So check him out and check out all his trophies he's hunting there. Posting some cool pics. You've hunted for a long time now. Like, we're all getting old. I also, I'm in my mid-30s already. And when we met, what was I, 20?
We're still in our prime. But,
we are in our prime. Our prime doesn't never end, by the way.
Yeah.
By the by and by. This prime is a long prime. So we met when I was about 20 years old, 21, 22.
Yeah, I remember I was actually just talking about you the other day. And some guy came out to hunt in the forest, and he saw me, and he was like, "Hey, I've seen you on TV." And I'm like, and we started to talk about you and how you started out. Remember those the good old days? Eh?
Yeah. I was filming for free.
Yeah.
No one
And I remember back then, Andy always said to me, he said, "Hey, one day I'm going to have my own TV show, and look at this." It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the TV show. Got the TV show now. Love the TV show, but now the podcast is pretty cool. I like the podcast because we can actually talk about a lot of things in a short amount of time.
Yeah, no, for sure.
One thing I wanted to ask you, that hunting you did in the Niassa back in the day.
Yes.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that was mind-blowing.
Tell us about that. And what was the area? What were you there for? Everything.
It was just so unexplored, eh? So Guy Whittle got the area, I think in like 06 or 07, somewhere there, and it was literally in the middle of nowhere. And drove down a bicycle track and spoke to a few locals. And
I remember I went there once. It took us like 3 days to get to the bloody place.
Yeah, I hated driving there. But no, it was incredible. It was one of those, grab your GPS, take a map, look on the map. That looks like a nice spot, let's go. And then, of course, Guy, as well as a lot of the other Zimbabwean operators and stuff, his anti-poaching showed so quickly. The animals just boomed so quick. There was a good nucleus of game there, but it just boomed so quickly. But yeah, it was an experience. Eh?
What were you hunting mainly?
So we started out leopard and sable because there was a lot of that, and then we went to the one village and we said to the folks in the village, "Who's the biggest poacher here?" And everyone pointed at the same oak. Masinyoto, we called him.
Okay.
And just an unbelievable little guy.
Okay.
And he was actually hired during the war to shoot game for the military.
Oh, okay.
So he knew that part of Mozambique like the back of his hand. And then we started to talk about elephant and of course he knew the plan, how the migration of the elephants used to come north and south, and from there, we managed to harvest some incredible bulls. But the good old-fashioned.
So you didn't even know there was elephants really to be had in that area until
Initially, not. No.
Wow.
until, like I say, this little guy said, listen, there's some elephants that come north and south here, and some of them sleep on the ivory. So,
Oh, wow.
we managed to have some incredible safaris there.
What was the biggest ellie you managed to
Biggest we
find?
took was 110.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was quite mind-blowing. But a lot of that 70, 80 pounders. And yeah, it was certain time of the year only. You couldn't go there all year round and hunt ellies. And I think part of the reason we only did 1 or 2 in that time, it didn't disturb them at all. So as the time went on and the anti-poaching became better, you started to have, because initially it was only bulls. And then now you started to get cow herds coming in, and it just improved constantly. And then unfortunately guy backed out of there. I forget the year, but he eventually backed out of there.
Okay.
Yeah, focused in Zimbabwe.
Do you know where those elephants were coming from, going to?
So they were basically coming out of Niassa Reserve, and they were moving south. So in that southern area where we were, there used to be old Portuguese settlements, and you had these massive mango plantations. I mean, mango trees as big as you can imagine, and hundreds of them.
Okay.
And so when they ripened, those elephants used to come out and graze on mangoes.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and then they used to sleep in the bamboo forests for protection and things like that. But there was no people there, so there was no human-wildlife conflict.
Okay.
It was just purely they were, through generations passed it down. Hey guys, there's some lekker mangoes. Let's go. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Was there any sort of like those places are so vast and wild and untouched, the local people there, was there any like juju, black magic type of thing that you experienced on any of the hunts?
Yeah, Andy, it's something I'll never forget. It's a bit of a story. I'll try and break it down for you.
No, yeah, we've got all the time in the world. I would like to hear the details.
We were, Guy and I were sent by his father, the great Roger Whittle, who had been trying to set up in Angola to do some hunting. Roger's always been a pioneer everywhere he goes. And unfortunately, by the time the hunts came round, Angola wasn't set up and, ended up not working out. So he said to these folks, go to Mozambique with Guy and Pete and see what happens. If you don't win, if you don't see a line, we'll, make it right. And up until that time, we didn't really know that there were any lines there. I think Guy had seen like 2 female tracks. Anyway, off we go, We have a go. You never know if you never go. So we start baiting, and I think we were on about day 7 or 8. Now we're supposed to do 2 lion, 2 leopard, an elephant, and some plains game. Man, and we putting baits up. We had the clients bring callers. We're trying everything. Absolutely nothing. No leopards on baits. No lion moving.
So you're doing
nothing.
How many day hunt is this?
It was 21 days.
21 day hunt.
Yeah.
And what day are you on when you're starting to figure out that there's nothing happening?
Yeah, about day 8, we were starting to get a bit worried.
Yeah.
And my one tracker comes to me and he says, boss, we need to do jaunty. So I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, no, my wife is the queen, because in northern Mozambique, it's not the chief. It's run by the woman there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're queens.
Oh, wow.
So he says to me, we need to get my wife and have her do jaunty. So I'm okay.
So she's the queen?
She's the queen.
This is your tracker's wife, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I said, okay. And we had arranged with Guy to go back at lunchtime and regroup and try and figure out a new plan anyway. So we go back at lunch. I send my cruiser, go and fetch this lady, and she had no idea we were coming. I just got to make that clear. She had no clue we were coming.
And we're still on day 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Or are we further on?
Day 9, day 8 or 9.
Okay.
So there's no cell phones out there, okay? There are today, but back then there was no comms. Now I send my cruiser out, go and get this queen. So they come back, we have lunch quickly, they come back, and so we greet her, and you know, what's happening? And she's got this little underling, like this young girl with her. She says, no, we go out. Where are you going this afternoon? So I said, well, I'm going this way, Guy's going this way. He said, no, let's go together and just drive where you want to go.
If you're going to be hunting in Africa, there's a couple of essentials that you are really going to need. Those are a good pair of hunting boots, shooting sticks, and a gun belt. Folks, African Sporting Creations has really, really good quality of all these products and more. All in one place. You can buy them online. So folks, visit africansportingcreations.com today to get your quality hunting products for Africa. You can thank me later. Back to the episode.
So we're driving along, and it's now November. It's fall. All the leaves are down, and it's
hot.
It's hot. And yes, it's fires, you know. And they tap on the roof. Okay, stop. Okay, stop. And she starts walking into the bush. Follow me. Yeah, okay. Now we're walking.
No.
Andy, she picks we get to a random tree. It's not a big one. It's not smaller, or it's just a tree, like all the other trees in the bush.
Doesn't look like a good baiting tree.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
But I look, and around the base of the tree, in a perfect circle, there's not a blade of grass, not a leaf, nothing. And I look at this, and I look at my Zim tracker, old Rindai, and I look at Rindai, and he looks at me, and he's like, something's going on here. How is it so perfectly clean? Anyway.
Did it look like it'd been cleaned?
No, there was no sweep marks, no footprints, no nothing. It was weird. It was just this circle around the tree, nice and shiny.
Shiny.
Okay. So now we all sit in a circle like this. All the trackers, everyone, the whole hunting party, clients, everyone. Take your shoes off, sit down. And she's got this little gourd, and she's got some cornmeal in it. So now she bring the rifles. We put the two clients' rifles down. She said, bring me 3 bullets each. She throws the bullets into this gourd, and she starts chanting and singing, and it's some ancient language. I mean, I spoke to my Mozambican tracker afterwards, and he says hardly anyone knows how to speak that language.
Oh, wow.
So the only thing I can hear from time to time is this jaunty. So I don't know, is that her, God or whatever? And she carries on, and she's putting cornmeal all over these rifles, and clients like, and my rifle. Oh, it's fine, we'll clean it, just she will be quiet. And then everyone in the group, she invites them to say something, why they're here, what are you doing, we need help, blah, blah, blah. Okay, done and dusted, she stands up, and she says, right, you can go and get your animals now. Bliksem. Andy, in my life. I mean, I get goosebumps now. Every time I think about it. I'm not a superstitious dude, So off we go. And we actually had a third vehicle, follow us there, to take her back now. Gave her a leg of sable meat. And off we go. Guy goes his way and I go my way. And we're driving along, and this herd of eland, about 80 eland, ran across the road. We hadn't even seen eland yet. Yes, and we see this massive bull at the back.
Yeah, those bulls up there are beautiful.
Biggest bulls, I think, in Africa. Body size, biggest. We jump out, we follow them for about 2.5 hours, and eventually we get this beautiful eland. And so I had Magara. Remember Magara?
Yeah, I remember.
He was also with us. So I said to Magara, you stay here, I'll go and get the truck. So we ran back, and it was quite easy there to open roads and stuff. It wasn't too much of a snag. So we get the truck back, and Magara comes, and he says, hey, come look at this. And there's this, like a little Garden of Eden, the spring, absolutely beautiful. And there's just sable tracks and eland tracks and reedbuck tracks. It's just like
And you just happened to bump into it when
Yeah, it was about 300 yards from where we shot the eland.
Oh, wow.
So quickly whipped out the knives, skinned the front half, and we hung it in a tree near the water there. And off we go back to camp, now we got to take the meat back. And so anyway, guy comes back that evening, nothing, we not expecting what's about to happen. The next morning, okay, so I've got my loop, guy's got his loop, and off we go. So now, just a reminder, there's nothing on bait to this stage. Nothing. Zero.
It's not even female.
Nothing is happening. And we start driving around, and so I've got a few leopard baits to check before we go to this lion spot. And we go, first bait, male leopard.
Come on.
Second bait, male leopard. Third bait, male leopard. And I'm thinking, no, this is weird. Now we drive to check this lion bait, the spring bait. Yeah, good call. We'll call it the spring bait. And as we're driving there, Magara taps on the roof and he says to me, the bait's gone. And I'm thinking, no, don't tell me there's a poacher here or something. Maybe a poacher's been living at this water. Anyway, we drive up, we stop there and we look, and there's just lion tracks everywhere. I'm not, no ways. And then Rendai goes, hey, psst, psst, there's something in the grass over there. So we look, and nothing. So we follow the drag, and we find the meat, and it's just covered in mane hair.
Lion mane.
Yeah.
Oh.
So right next to the truck was a termite mound. So I pull the bait out into the open. The client and I lie on top of the termite mound, and I said to the guys, just cut some branches and cover us. And then go and
just
check.
Lying there?
Just lying on no blind. We're just lying under some bushes, and I said, go and check the other bait. 2 baits. Anyway. So now we lie there. The client actually timed it. 14 minutes later, this flippin' massive lion steps out. Well, of course, boom, in the salt. Can't believe it.
Wow.
Throw him in the truck, racing back to camp. There's another leopard bait on the way home. Another male leopard. So I've got nothing going on. I've now got 4 male leopards on bait, and I've just shot this giant lion.
All in about a day and a half.
Yeah, see. So we head now back to camp. Big celebration. And guys found some very promising elephant sign. And so anyway, the next morning off we go. And now I want to go and select which leopard to sit on. Okay, so we're like, let's go measure nicely and pick the biggest. We didn't have trail cameras back then. There was no trail cam, so it was all track measurement.
Oh man, that's painful.
So I'm like, okay, we got to find the big boss man, and we're going to build a blind.
Yeah. Hopefully his big feet mean he has a big body.
Yeah, right. So anyway, the blind that was actually on between camp and where we got the lion turned out to be the biggest track. So I said, okay, fine.
Nice and close to camp.
Let's just go and check the spring bait quickly, because we'd now hung it back up.
Okay.
We go back there, flip, the bait's gone again.
No,
come on, you're joking. We go there, big male lion track.
Oh, was guy's guy also looking for a lion?
Yeah, 2 lions, 2 leopards.
Oh my goodness.
So I call Guy, quickly come back. So now it's the end of the day.
Come in.
Yeah. So now I get into the leopard blind, and Guy he wants to go and set up a blind at the spring bait.
Yeah.
But now, because we'd burnt earlier in the year, it's wide open. I'd love to have been a fly in that blind, my friend. So we're sitting there. It's about 4 PM.
You're in the leopard blind.
I'm in the leopard blind.
Okay.
It's not far. And it's about 4 PM. But before that, guy calls me on the radio. He said, hey, where did you put your blind? I said, bud, we just lay on the termite mound.
So we were the blind.
Yeah. So he says, yeah, okay, no problem. So he builds one of his pop-up blinds and covers it and everything. Tries to tuck it next to the termite mound. So he's planned to spend the night.
Guys' blinds are the best blinds. Yeah.
Yeah, he tends to attract cats.
Once he made me sit outside the blind.
Yeah, guy, I don't know,
Mr.
guy always has such fun and such rodeos. I mean, he's the oak who wakes up with a crocodile under his bed. Remember that?
Yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah.
He's
So
a character.
anyway, so now he's in the blind. He's taken his shoes off and put them outside. And they've got mattresses now. They're going to sleep the night.
Yeah, guy likes to be comfortable
Yeah,
in
no,
his blind.
he's got to work on his snoring now. Anyway, 4:30 somewhere there, I hear it. I'm thinking, no ways. What's going on now? Turns out they're sitting in the blind now. Rifle is in the window, so in a gun rest. Okay, guys chilling, relaxing, expecting this to be an all-night affair, and he hears this like soft growling and racket going on outside the door. So he
Something is here.
turns out this lion was busy chewing on his shoe.
Oh my goodness.
So now the client takes a rifle out, and as he turns around now, because they'd left the one window open for fresh air, 'cause it's November, it's hot.
Very odd.
And he turns around. As he turns around, this lion sticks its head in the window.
Oh no.
and the client shoots him in the face, but unfortunately he didn't brain
So
it.
the client turned around to see, and there's
client
the lion.
turns around like this, and as he does that, the lion looks in the blind. So
She
now
must
it's
have pooped
bouncing
and
around outside,
pooped
and
in pants.
they just shooting her. Yes,
So he just shot it straight in the face.
shot it straight in the face, but he hit it a bit low,
Okay.
and then now it's
No.
bouncing, right?
No, it's-
And they in a little flipping
oh wow.
dark hole.
Oh,
What a rodeo! So
wow.
they come past. We jump out the blind. Yeah, celebrate, whatever. Okay.
No, but they got their lion.
Yeah, got
Oh
it.
really?
This thing's the one I got is brother.
Oh no ways.
2 massive lions.
Oh wow.
So they drive past. We jump out. Congratulate, slapping backs, everything. Guys like, hurry up. I want to have some beer tonight.
Yeah, whiskeys.
We get back in the blind, and man, it wasn't an hour later. Leopard in the tree.
What?
Can you believe? I mean, Andy, this is now day 2
They do
after Jonty, eh? So we get this beautiful leopard. Go back to camp. Massive celebrations. The next morning we're about to go out, and guy's client says, "No, I don't want a leopard." Says to his mate, "You shoot the second leopard. I just want to do an elephant." Fine, no problem. So now we go and we're going to set up on another cat, because we've still got 3 males on bait.
So your Oki wants a second leopard?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we ended up
get her.
spending the whole day out, and we come back in the evening with our second leopard, mind you, and guy's just taken a 78-pound elephant.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I'm not a superstitious guy, but 2
Yeah.
lions, 2 leopards, and a big elephant in 3 days is kind of weird.
That is
It's kind of
unbelievable.
weird.
That is unbelievable. I'm one of those people that I believe in that stuff. I do. Like, if I was a professional hunter, which I'm not, I would go straight to the spirit house.
Yeah,
I'd probably spend
yeah.
most of the safari there.
invite them to
Asking
camp.
for forgiveness. No.
Yeah. You've got to respect the locals and the cultures. You have to. They believe so strongly in it. And
Yeah.
for us to disrespect that and to push them aside, it's not right. So I've seen it, I've lived it, and yeah, I respect it fully. Yeah.
Looking to breathe new life into your old rifle? Or maybe you're looking to turn your new rifle into something that's truly your own. At Boyd's Hardwood Gun Stocks, we believe every firearm deserves a stock that fits you. Not just your shoulder, but your style. From classic lines to bold colors, from sleek modern shapes to rugged traditional builds, Boyd's Hardwood Gun Stocks offers designs for thousands of makes and models. Boyd's lets you customize a stock that feels like it was built just for you. Because it was. So don't settle for factory standard. Make your rifle as unique as you are. Visit boydsgunstocks.com today and start building your perfect stock. Back to the podcast. Is the forest the similar? Do they have superstitions? I mean, I know
Very much so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, huge.
Like
Yeah,
what?
Those baka are very, very superstitious with the rain. Like they take a lot of I mean, their knowledge of the forest is second to none. Everywhere you go in Africa, I'm sure there's guys who know this is a medicine and that tree for this and this. But to watch those baka, it's something else. And they do a lot of like rain ceremonies. And it didn't work so well this year. But I remember the one time I said we were stumped. I mean, we were almost driving around for nothing because there was nothing we could do. You go to the salt lick and what are you trying to see? There's nothing to see. And so we had a little chat and I said, guys, we need some rain. And then they take a few branches and they do their little ceremony. And when you go to a river, they go into the river and they throw water around and they do all these little ceremonies like that. But yeah, they've got all sorts of different things that they do in the forest.
Yeah.
You'll be walking along and all of a sudden all the guys are gone. You just like the leaves rustle and you're like, and they're gone. And you just stand there and wait. And then they'll come back and no, boss, we had a meeting and we cut the tree here. And, their baka language is very, very difficult. So I don't quite understand fully, but I just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
So what do you think they're doing?
I
They're
don't
going
know.
for a little joint smoking
Yeah,
session.
they do love their mountain cabbage. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, they're an interesting tribe. Very interesting.
I find the local people absolutely fascinating. Pete, have you had any close calls with animals? I mean, I know you have, but maybe give us a story or two on that.
Yeah, we had that one with you.
Yeah, that whole safari was incredible.
That was, That was 3 charges on one safari.
Well, we started with the elephant, and that was rather eventless, but it was like day 2 or something. We
Yes.
shot how big was that elephant?
It was 70-something. It was
Yeah.
a beautiful elephant.
I remember holding the tusks up here
Yeah.
for a picture. And then, what was next? The buffalo?
The 2 buffalo.
2 buffalo, both of them charged.
Yeah. One charged that day.
Yes,
Right
one
in the
charged.
evening.
Yeah. We shot them both on the same day, and then they were both. They were both wounded, right?
I think Marks would have died.
Yeah.
But because it was late in the evening,
We pushed them a
probably
bit too-
error judgment on my part, just went in there a little bit too quickly. But he was going to die.
But also the boundary wasn't far from
Yeah.
there, so we
Yeah.
had to kind of
Yeah.
look
we
for
had
him.
to We had to try and recover them quickly.
So
And
this is Peter's rifle, which is absolutely beautiful. And this is the gun you were carrying at the time.
yes, yeah.
Both of the buffalo charged. That was the first time I'd seen a buffalo charge. And old Captain Clever Clogs here was camera wasn't even rolling. And back then we had those tape things, so when you turned it on, it took about 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm holding the camera as if ready to film. And Pete was sorting out this full charge buffalo. So that was the first one. It came down the hill towards us, didn't it?
Yeah, came down the hill straight out. It only went 10 or 15 yards from the initial hit.
Yeah.
And I think he was about ready to pack it in, and obviously he sensed us and thought, okay, I'm going to take one of you guys with me.
Yeah. So how it happened was there was a group of about 4 buffalo bulls, and so it was a father and son. So the son shot first, right?
Yes,
Ryan
yeah.
shot first, boom, and then the buffalo just kind of, they were on the other side of a hill, and there was a valley between us, and they were in some thick bushes, so they didn't really know what had happened, where it came from. I think the sound also was a bit echoey,
They
and
kind
so
of just
they-
jumped and stood around.
So they all just stood around, and then Pete said to the father, right, your turn, get on the same gun. They put a solid in, which was clever because the buffalo you wanted was facing away.
Facing dead away.
Away. And Texas hard shot him with the solid.
Yeah.
So the first one
And
was
that bullet
broadside.
all the way in the neck.
Because you could see the horn sticking out the
Yeah.
side like that. Eh? It's
Yeah,
like, wow.
Two beautiful buffalo.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool how it went down. And then, so Mark's the father who shot second. His buffalo, the Texas Hardshot one, actually didn't go far.
Yeah, he
That's
was the one that stopped right there.
That's the one that charged first.
Yeah.
So, so then we recovered that guy.
No, we left him there, remember?
Oh, we left him there the night. Oh, we hung tissue papers to
Yes,
try and keep
yeah.
the hyenas and lions and things away.
Yeah, because it was now dark. Pretty much dark.
Yes. Yeah. And then we came back the next day
Yeah.
and followed Ryan's buffalo.
And we left Shorty and the crew to recover Mark's.
Yes, and we just went with Rendai.
Yeah.
Rendai was tracking the wounded one.
There was you, me, Rendai, and Ryan. And then we left Mark with the game scout at the river in case the buffalo
in case
turned.
the buffalo
Remember?
crossed that river.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then we followed for a while, ne? the
Yeah,
next
it was
day.
some hours. And that buffalo was just circling. I mean, we walked over our own tracks a few times. And yeah, it got a bit nerve-wracking.
Did you know he was going to come? Did you?
I
the
thought
way
this,
he was,
yeah, when they start to do that, then, and then he'd turn and he'd stop. And you'd see a little pool of blood. And then he'd move and he'd turn and he'd stop. The classic textbook wounded buffalo behavior. And then I think it was about 10:30, 11.
I don't know, but it was hot.
It was hot. And
I was exhausted already.
And I think I said, Rendai said to me, we've run out of water. And I said, okay, cool.
And cameraman's first one to not get wet. Especially when he's about
the back
18.
of the line.
Yeah.
And we decided to go back to the car, remember, to go and get some more water.
Is that what it...
Yeah, and then Rendai said, wait, I just want to check here which way he's gone.
Yeah.
And he literally took 2 steps. And here came that buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
I'll never get that scene out of my head. Obviously, again, clever clogs. Camera's not on. It's this buffalo chasing Rendai with his backpack on. And you on your knee just go, dom, dom, and then this buffalo into the sand. And that's my camera came on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yes, just in time to film a dead buffalo.
That was wild. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that was the 2 buffaloes. So we had the elephant in the bag, the 2 buffaloes. Then we went for the leopard. Remember when we went back to Umani?
Then
From
now we went to
Resort to
Umani.
Umani.
And Ryan was to do leopard. And then the girls were all going to join us and have plains game.
Yes.
And just...
Yeah.
And
I was put in charge of hunting the girls.
Yes,
Remember?
yeah.
It was so much
Yeah,
fun. And I
yeah.
got 2 kudus, 2 zebras. What a buck.
Yeah, it was
And
awesome.
I shot this zebra with... Pete was obviously hunting for the lions and leopards and whatever. So I'd been turned from cameraman to PH. What? Oh yeah, we shot a zebra, and I radioed Pete because the zebra was so heavy, I couldn't load it into the vehicle.
And you had a
It was
bunch of
just
girls
me and
for
a
help,
girl
yeah.
and like our tracker. So we had 2 men and I don't know which one it was, which one of the Chancellor daughters, but so I radio Pete on the radio and I say, Pete, come in. He's like, Pencil. He calls me Pencil. He says, Pencil, what do you want? I said, Pete, we've shot a zebra. Okay, well done. What do you want? So I said, no, well,
Help.
I can't load it. He says, are they doing a full skin? I said, no, just a shoulder mount. He says, Pencil, think about it. So I said, it's too heavy, Pete. I can't put it in. He says, cut it in half, take the guts out, and load it. I was like, sorry, Pete. Out. Good idea. And
Is that where you got the name Pencil from?
that's where Pencil. No, Pencil is because I have a high iron condition.
Yeah.
I nearly died actually from that condition. And
It was wild. I remember that box of muti that you used to get every month.
Yeah, and that thing I had to stick in my leg and.
Yeah, it was insane. It
Yeah.
was a tough time in
So
your...
because of I was high in iron,
Yeah.
Pete thought a pencil has iron inside, not lead. So pencil, but or penzura actually.
Benzura, yeah.
That's a nickname that's actually stuck with everyone at Humani.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
there, benzura. Yeah. I say it's because I'm smart and I can write with a
Yeah.
pencil. Yeah. So that was the. Oh yeah. So then you guys wanting the leopard. How did Ryan get that cut on his eye?
Yeah, shame.
That hunt.
The leopard was actually at night. He he was mating, if I remember right, and he just wouldn't come to the bait. The female would come in, and eventually he came in, and I think just out of excitement, Ryan got a bit close to the gun.
Yeah.
And when he squeezed the round off, he killed the leopard, stone dead.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
Nice.
I remember he turned to me and said, "Did I get it?" And I just felt this warm squirting on my arm. And it was actually coming out of his eyebrow, squirting all over me. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
wild.
but
And then we had the lion to go, right?
Then it was a surprise line because there was somebody had
Cancelled or something.
cancelled or whatever, and
Yeah.
the guy had said, "We have a line if you want to try."
Yes, and Mark was like, all right then.
Yeah, we're here. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So this safari got interesting quick because that lion wouldn't sit for a light. And then we ended up shooting him, but he wasn't shot 100%, right?
He was shot just a little bit back.
a little bit back.
I think just from the movement, I think, Mark, he's a phenomenal shot. I think
Yeah, he
he
is.
just shot literally an inch or too far back.
Yeah. And then we followed that lion and he went up onto that hill. Do you remember? And you
Yeah.
even said to me, if he goes up on this hill, you're not coming down.
Yeah.
So we went. How did we go?
That
Tell
was
us.
sweaty. I mean, I remember we were almost trying to track with our binoculars. We were so scared of going up that hill. It was
It was
I mean,
slow.
it was a matter of he could be behind any one of these rocks. And
I was petrified because one of my 1,000 pills that I was taking for my high iron condition was warfarin, which is like a blood thinner. And the doctor had categorically told me, don't get any scratches because you'll bleed to death. And I remember walking thinking,
you didn't
if
tell me
my-
that at the time.
no, I didn't tell anyone. If my doctor knew that I was following this wounded lion, because now I had traded my camera for
Yeah, I remember.
for your
Yeah,
375
I
actually.
remember I said to you, "Andy, please, but put the camera down. Take the rifle."
Yeah, and you were carrying this rifle, and up we went. I learned a lot on that thing because I remember, obviously, I was just following your lead. I was right next to you, but
Yeah.
I was just listening to what you're telling me to do. And we would get to a situation where there would be two big boulders because this hill was full of boulders. So this thing could be hiding anywhere, but there were certain places where Pete said, we're not going through there because you could see the lion's tracks had gone through that gap, but we went round the down the back.
Around the back.
And then sure enough, when we got around the back, there was a pool of blood where the lion had been lying, waiting for us. So had we come through there, he would have grabbed us. So
It's
that-
about the worst hill
that's a
I've ever
hunting
climbed.
sixth sense that you get from time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
From being in situations.
Be careful. Don't be blasé. Don't rush in. Take your time.
Yeah.
Be patient. Be careful.
It takes a serious kind of stupid to rush into those kind of situations.
Yeah, you're gonna get hurt.
Because I mean, most people just don't go into them anyway. But I mean, I know, Zimbabwe especially has a huge reputation for having to get your wounded animals.
Yeah,
I know there's some places that people will just be like, well,
yeah,
I ain't going in there.
yeah.
But if you do it slowly and carefully, you obviously get your odds better, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. It was one of the toughest hills I've ever had to climb. Just in terms of that, this could happen at any moment. And I actually remember, I think I said to somebody, when he's biting me, try not to shoot me. Because it was at that point now. So yeah, just take it slow. And then we got to the top.
Oh, that was freaky.
And then I said,
There
"There's
was
no
bones
way."
everywhere.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
Yeah,
It was like a graveyard, like a
it was like a
boneyard.
Savo Lion 2.0 up there.
Yeah, he'd been taking his kills up there.
And then we backed down and we walked around,
Yeah,
and there was no tracks.
holy
And like, okay,
smokes.
he's up there.
Yeah, we got to the hill, close to the top, and Peter was like, there's no more space. So we went down again and then round the hill, not all the way to the bottom, but like just a
Yeah,
little
just
bit down.
Below, yeah.
Yeah, and then now you knew that the lion hadn't gone down the hill.
Yeah, he's up in
He's
that cave.
up there in his lair,
Yeah,
waiting for us.
to add to his bone collection.
It was a big lion. Oh. I remember at one stage a little mongoose freaking shot out of the rocks, and I was so on it.
I almost actually like.
Drilled it.
I think I took the safety off, to be honest. But that's when I realized, you know what, I'm focused because
Yeah,
that thing was on, and I was like, wow, that was quite impressive. On a
Well,
mongoose show,
your focus came to at the end. Remember,
yeah.
there was that corridor. We went back up now. We've checked; he hasn't gone down, and there was a corridor like that, and there was blood, and I said, "There's no way." So we went around and we went on that opposite rock.
We climbed up over a rock.
Remember, we put Rindai up there, and he was lying down. We handed him the rifles, and then we got up there.
Yeah.
There was only room for you and I.
Yes.
Everyone else had to stay down.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the speed of that cat. The absolute speed of that thing. I mean, we stood up, safeties off, pointing in the general direction, and it was a blur.
Yeah.
And he leapt at us. And I think, thank God, because we were so high, he couldn't reach us.
Yeah.
And
I
he
don't think
hit
I'd
that
even.
rock.
I don't think I hadn't even seen him at this point because you went up first, remember? And then I was
Yeah,
just
you were
behind
right
you.
here.
Yeah.
And he leaps at this rock with the most terrifying sound and those yellow eyes, and then turns to run, and pencil strikes.
No, but you
Perfectly.
hammered him first.
I hammered him.
Come on.
And then I think he made it another half a yard, and pencil drills him in the neck and poleaxes him.
I was aiming for the shoulder, but we weren't
Thanks
telling
again
anyone
for that, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that was when he folded on that shot. Oh man, I felt like $1 million. I was like, Penzura, they're great. The greatest pencil.
That was a wild safari. Yes.
Yeah. What's your? I mean, if you had to put a number of wounded animals you followed, dangerous animals. I'm talking lion, elephant, buffalo, leopard.
Well, I've actually been very lucky in that I haven't followed a wounded leopard.
Never.
Never.
What?
I've been very, very lucky.
Yeah, that thing is not like.
I lie. I followed one, but we managed to spot him before he came at us, and we put him down. Buffalo is the most common.
That's a dangerous creature.
There's been a pile of those, and that's
when you say a pile. Like if you had to put a, I mean, it's difficult
maybe
to put a number.
a dozen,
Yeah.
maybe 15, somewhere there.
I think you're being cautious on that number, Shrek.
I think anyone that
I
wishes,
can count at least 4 when I've been with you.
I think anyone that wishes for a charge needs to have their head checked. It's just
Well, normally the person who wishes for a charge is a person who's never been charged.
Yeah, and gets hurt. Yeah, because when it gets to that point, if you don't kill him, somebody's going to get hurt or killed. And people don't realize the speed of these animals. Even an elephant, you don't realize how fast that thing moves. Number one, I think you have to be very, very confident in your rifle. But also, there's quite a bit, personally for me, there's quite a lot of luck involved too in getting out of one of those situations. You have to wait, you have to be calm, you have to be patient. You generally, if you have a double, yes, you've got a chance of your second shot. But we were always trained growing up, never ever have an empty rifle. If you have a magazine rifle, always make sure you have one in the mag. Never ever stand with an empty rifle, because now you're holding a broomstick. You know what I'm saying? So, in effect, you only have one shot. So wait for your shot. And make sure that when you do squeeze the trigger, that's it.
But now you say wait for it. How long do you wait, Pete? What is it just to go on feeling or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the terrain, the brush. I mean, I remember I had one a couple of years ago. I think it was COVID year, and we actually saw this buffalo. He stood up, and I actually had my 458 lot. I didn't have my double, because it was raining, and I don't like to take her out in the rain. She sleeps in bed with me, you know.
I don't blame you.
So he stood up. I drilled him on the shoulder. We'd been following him for like 3 hours.
Was it a buffalo?
Yeah, buffalo.
Okay.
We'd been following him for about 3 hours. And he turned and came, and I just knew, just you've only got one chance. Just wait. So I've used one. I've got 2 in the rifle.
Okay.
So I've got one shot.
Yes.
And there was just a gully in the Jess. There was me like standing in a corridor. There was me and there was him.
And the rest is just thick bush.
Yeah, he's not going to turn.
No, 'cause
And
too
there's
tangly.
everybody standing behind me. So I can't run. I can't jump out the way. That's not part of my job description. You know?
Yeah.
And I just had to wait and wait and wait and wait.
And he came straight down that tunnel.
Just came straight at me,
Holy smokes.
roaring like a lion. It's amazing the noise that thing can make.
That was what first petrified me when I
Yeah.
heard my first buffalo charge. Was that roar.
It's insane.
It's crippling almost.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Maybe I waited too long. I don't know, but I waited until I knew I could kill him. And he actually nosedived and somersaulted. His butt came over the top like this, and I actually had to jump out the way.
Holy smokes.
So, but you got to remember, a buffalo, it's full speed. Even if you brain him, he's still going to make a few yards just with the momentum.
Yeah.
So I don't know how close he was when I pulled the trigger, but yeah, he was right there.
And was his head bouncing or was it coming like
He's
straight?
pretty steady, eh?
Is it?
I mean, a slight movement, but pretty steady. I mean, I was holding the bead,
There
pretty
or
tight on him.
thereabout.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then what happens now when he dips his head to have a go at you? You lose your sight picture.
Yeah, because I don't know if... Yes.
So you don't know when that's going to happen. When is
Yeah.
he going to dip?
You're going to dip, I reckon, at about 2 yards, I reckon.
Yeah,
You're gonna stop.
as he gets there.
Yeah.
So,
Wabam.
yeah, it's just a tough one to call. But I would just say be confident in what you're carrying and just be sure when you squeeze that trigger, you're not wasting ammo.
Tell us about your weapon that you carry. What is it?
My second wife.
Your second wife.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a beautiful old English double made by Watson Brothers. I believe built in 1933. So she's pushing on almost 100 soon.
100 and still sexy.
Yeah, still beautiful. Still like a bank vault. It's a 475 number 2. So it's in essence, it's the same as a 470.
Okay.
The ammunition is just a little bit longer. It's a longer cartridge, less pressure. But yeah, she was given to me by a very, very close personal friend that I've hunted with many, many years. And everything happens for a reason. The very year he gave me that double is when we had all that trouble. Hey, there's some poetry for you. Eh?
Oh, wow.
Was
Was that the first year you had the gun?
the year we had all that trouble
On that safari?
on that safari.
Yeah.
I had this.
Holy smokes.
My buddy gave me this rifle a month prior.
That's one thing you realize in this hunting world. There's some great people that hunt, eh?
Oh, unbelievable. And we're blessed.
Yeah.
We get to rub shoulders with some pretty amazing people. Just
Yeah.
listening to their different life stories and how much they do for conservation. Yeah.
No, for sure. It's a bit of a shame that, hunters get this terrible rap about being the killers of all the world's wildlife, whereas people really don't understand.
don't
It's the money
understand.
that these guys are paying that is protecting all these wild places.
But wild places, there you go. How many people go on a photographic safari to see a Lord Derby eland?
Not one person that I know.
Zero.
Of. Yeah.
Okay? All of that, which we surround all the parks. Same as a lot of African hunting blocks. They all surround the national parks to make like a buffer zone.
Yeah.
So, who goes to take pictures of eland? Nobody. Why are those eland there? Because we are there looking after them. Taking a small quota and paying a fortune. I mean, we hunt there for 2 months, but we have to protect them for 12.
Yeah.
Nobody else helps.
Well, that's also why an eland is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
What does an eland hunt go for? It's like 40, 50,
That's about 50K.
50,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, $50,000 for one eland.
yeah.
So that's money that can be used for
keeping those wild
Yeah.
places wild.
100%.
Unfortunately, Africa is just, you talk about the buffer zone that hunting areas form around national parks. People are like, what is the buffer zone? Because around the outside of the buffer zone or the hunting areas is the people.
Is the people.
And the people are hungry and trying to kill all the animals.
Yeah.
So,
And then you have animals raiding their crops, and the human-wildlife conflict is getting greater and greater.
yeah.
But yeah, there's nobody that conserves and protects wildlife like the hunting community. Nobody.
Yeah. And good people as well, man.
Yeah.
Just some
Yeah.
of my favorite people I've ever met are hunters from, most of them from America, to be honest. Most of my clients anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good people doing good things. And it's a lot of fun to come and hunt, isn't it?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
And it's a passion. Everybody we hunt with. You can see the passion. You can see when that guy shoots his animal. You can see it. You can almost feel it with him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course you want to spend time with those kind of people.
Yeah. Join Dallas Safari Club back in Texas, July 17 to 19 at the Gaylord Texan Resort in Grapevine for the 2025 Summer Expo and Foundation Gala. Minutes from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, this 3-day event features nearly 500 exhibitors, tons of exciting and unique nighttime events, and the Dallas Safari Club Foundation Gala on the Saturday, July 19. Go to biggame.org for more information. Back to the podcast. It's always amazing, when I get a first timer come out. You talk to them about, I thought it was so hard to get to Africa. I thought it was going to be like really dangerous and like the people are going to be aggressive. Everyone's so friendly.
Get eaten.
Yeah. And then they just hooked, eh?
Yeah.
They just hooked on the whole safari bug. Yeah. It's not as dangerous as some people think it is. Definitely.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And once people come to Africa, that's it. They come many, many, many times again.
What do you think's in the future of hunting? What's happening, Pete?
Great things, Andy.
You reckon?
Great things. I mean, I just see, the anti-poaching has become more and more advanced. I see governments getting more involved in protecting the wildlife. I just see great things. As long as we keep our standards as high as we always have, it's onwards and upwards.
Another thing, how ethics and I hate shooting animals off a vehicle. It doesn't seem fair to me.
Yeah.
That animal's there looking, what is that thing? Big old vehicle, and then bang.
Bang. Yeah.
I hate it.
No. Shouldn't be done.
It shouldn't be done, right?
No, it shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be done. And
do it somewhere else, but don't come here to Africa to do it, I think.
Yeah. No,
but also,
I agree.
professional hunters be letting this stuff happen, Pete.
I agree. I think like in Zimbabwe, we have an ethics committee.
Yeah, no,
that'll
for
bring
sure.
you to book.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They will bring you to book and say, hey, you need to cut that out, or they'll suspend your license or pull your license. Behave yourself. Show respect. Maybe that's the word, is people lose respect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I mean, while other countries may not have ethics committees and stuff, it's up to the professional hunter himself.
Yeah. And also the client.
And also
He's the one
client.
who's pulling the trigger at the end of the day. I mean,
yeah, just show respect. Respect what you're doing.
It does get a bit difficult, when you're at the end of the safari and you're looking for a bloody grace buck or something, and then there it is.
Yeah.
It's a hard nut. So, yeah, it is a bit of a touchy subject, I suppose.
It is a touchy subject, but I just think, I mean, you look at it in the US, when they shoot an animal, they have to pack the meat out before the trophy. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's a form of respect. And I think that can apply to different forms of hunting.
For sure.
And I think hunting from a vehicle needs to be, that's on the PHN, like you say, and the client themselves.
Yeah. It does take the joy out of it, man.
It does. I mean,
How
so
hard
now,
is that?
the way I like to see it is I hunt an animal with a client, and now he shoots a beautiful animal, and we send it home. He gets it mounted. He puts it up on his wall. I want him more about don't talk about how big it is. I want him to tell a story on how he got that animal.
Yeah.
And if you've now drilled it off the back of the vehicle, which has happened, I'm not saying I've never done it, it takes away his story. You know, he'll say to his mate, hey, you see this beautiful kudu? Hey, yo, tell us. Oh, yeah, I hooked it off the back of the truck.
Yeah,
Okay.
great story there.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I say, I'm not saying I've never done it,
Yeah.
but, yeah, it's just, it's the story.
I think the best thing is when you can get the story, you can get a super old animal, and that's what's cool about hunting. I mean, I think us as Africans, we've always kind of known it, that the cooler animals are the older animals because they just got so much character. Their faces are all torn, their eyes, they might be blind in one eye. His horns have got character, smooth. That's starting to rub off on clients now. I mean, a lot of clients are like, 100%. I want that old animal, which is so cool because, and then, if you can get the icing on the cake, you get the story, you get the super old animal, and then if you can get a big one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Happy
100%.
days. He's had his great life. He's passed on his genetics. Ain't nothing wrong with the big
you're
one.
right.
Pete, please, will you tell us about your gun belt? What do you carry on there and why? Because I've seen something on your gun belt that I haven't seen on anyone else's.
Okay, so I carry a hook blade. You know who taught me this? You know who bought it one year and said to me, I think this might work. And I've never looked back. Is Mark Chancellor.
Oh, really?
For doing all your cuts on the hide.
Yeah.
It's
The
so
gut.
razor sharp. All your skinning lines.
yeah.
Because in Cameroon, we skin everything on site. I skin everything
because it's so hot. You don't want to take it back to camp; it'll spoil, right?
So that is a very important part of my arsenal.
Do you have extra blades for that? In the car, or whatever?
Inside, I've got a couple of
Inside
extra
there?
blades. Yeah.
Okay.
But this one hook will probably do 3 or 4 animals.
Okay.
Okay.
And he's got his spare blades inside.
Spare blades are inside.
That's pretty cool. And you just keep him on a little knife sheath.
Yeah.
That's pretty nifty.
And then I've got, of course, the Havilon.
The Havilon, yeah. Ish, that's a deadly little...
Never leave home without it.
I love
I don't know how
Havilon.
many hundreds and hundreds of animals this little knife has skinned.
Yeah, that's a cool little knife. What is this one? Don't know which one this is, but it's
Yeah,
nice.
that's the
Nice
Havilon Scrimshaw, I think they call it.
Scrimshaw.
Yeah,
Nifty little guy.
I've never seen another one like it.
Yeah. That's
But
pretty
yeah.
cool.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, man. And then what is this beautiful apparatus?
So this is just, I have first aid kits and everything, but this is just something that I thought to carry in the field. Sometimes your guys might forget the water bag, or they might forget to put the first aid kit or something in there, but my belt is part of my body. So inside I have a tourniquet, and then some blood clot, a bandage, and then just some iodine. Just in case something happens, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
So that's what I have in this
Let me
little
just
sock.
tell you that I've hunted with a lot of professional hunters. I think you're the only one I've seen wearing that.
Oh, really?
I swear. And I've been in situations where the client was overexcited by what was going on. He shot his professional hunter through the leg, Leon Dupe.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had a bullet go past a tracker's head from an excited client.
Yeah.
That, and I'm petrified about it now. People get offended with me because I'm like, safety, and you know what I'm like, I'm so pedantic about it because I've been in situations where someone's nearly died because they've been shot, and it's mainly shot. And also then obviously the animals can also
grab a hold of you. But being shot is also, I think a lot of PHs, it's one of our biggest fears, is being shot.
And it's normally the PH who gets shot also, to be
we've
honest.
seen what
he's in front of the
rifle
client.
can do. We've seen what these bullets
horrendous.
can do. And humans are pretty soft there. So when we get hit with a bullet, it's a major problem.
Yeah, sure.
So I just carry this.
That's a good thing.
I
I
mean-
think people should take note of that.
Yeah. You like my pouch though, eh?
I think it's very cool.
Eh?
Yeah,
My
yeah,
like a
yeah. It
little
looks
sock
like
pouch.
yeah. Silkies.
Yeah.
It works, eh?
No, and then just a common A normal knife, eh?
Knife, and then you got your bullets on the other side
Yeah,
there.
and then my ammo.
Nice.
So it stays closed, and if I'm following something wounded, it just sits open.
You tuck that part in the back
Yeah,
there,
this gets tucked away, and then we're ready for action.
ready to rumble.
Yeah.
Nice, Pete. It's always cool to listen to your stories.
Always cool to hang out, but always.
You've got loads and loads of stories. We will definitely have you back another time. But for now, the lovely Miss Carly in the background here is telling us our time is up. So, folks, join us next time for another episode of This is Africa. Don't forget to also remember to not forget that you should remember that we have a Patreons page. This is Africa has a Patreons page. You can go on there. There's loads and loads of extra videos that you guys have never seen before, and I can't put on YouTube because of certain reasons. So go on there, become a Patreon, support This is Africa. That means you're going to be driving all these things like podcasts and more hunting videos. So become a Patreon. Folks, until next time, we'll see you right here in studio. Bye.